everyone, my name is Lakshmi and I welcome you back to this interview skills session. Now in my next video and this video, we are going to talk about something very important for all of you for that day, that final day when you are going to put all your learning into action. We all are preparing for that one day. So we possibly cannot leave any stone unturned, to make it the best. So here are a few points that we are going to see, the do's and don'ts of an interview. Let's begin our session. The first thing that you need to remember whenever you're preparing for an interview is do your homework. Do your homework means you need to take certain documents. आपको documents लेके जाने होंगे. So that will include your resume, that will include your photographs, that will include your educational qualification certificates and other certificates. So make sure that you have a copy of all these, or maybe have 2 or 3 copies of these, and keep a folder ready the first day prior to your interview. Secondly, do your research. डू योर रिसर्च का मतलब है जिस भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में आप जा रहे हैं या आपने अप्लाई किया है, यू हैव टू डू सम रिसर्च अबाउट दैट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. गो थ्रू देयर वेबसाइट, find out when they started, what all did they do, what have been their achievements over the years, how they have changed, or what is the latest development or new things that they have introduced. Now whenever you answer in an interview and you are able to cite certain examples from your research, the interviewer will be very happy that you have done your research well. The third thing is rehearse. Now there are certain questions that I'm going to share with you in the next level. At the next level, we are going to share all the probable questions that can be expected to be asked in a cabin crew interview, or in a ground staff interview, or travel and tourism interview and hospitality. So these extra questions will help you prepare your answer beforehand. You have to rehearse all the answers properly before you go there, because there you possibly can't be thinking, right? So you rehearse all your answers and you will be in a good position to get selected in that job. The fourth thing is brush up on your body language. आपने body language के बारे में सीखा है, पॉजिटिव बॉडी लैंग्वेज क्या है या क्या आपसे एक्सपेक्टेड होगा, बट क्या है, इट इज़ गुड टू ब्रश इट अप. सो एक बार आप अपने घर पे आप एक बार करके देख सकते हैं, बैठ के देख सकते हैं. द वे यू स्टैंड, द वे यू सिट, द वे यू शेक हैंड्स, एवरीथिंग you can rehearse. Now for that rehearsal and for that practice, I'm going to tell you certain do's and don'ts that you need to remember. Now before we move further, मैंने आपको documents बोला था, so there is a list of documents that you should be carrying. Please note down, get a pen and a paper right away and note down the documents that you need to have. The first thing is bring additional copies of your resume along with a list of references to offer the interviewer. आपके resume की कुछ copies आपके पास होनी चाहिए. आपके पास passport size photographs होनी चाहिए. You should carry few passport size photographs. Third, you should carry educational certificates, all the important educational certificates. Fourth, certificate of extracurricular activities. If you have been in sports, dance, drama, music, or even in social activities, if you have participated and you have certificates, it is always good to carry those certificates. Fifth, proof of address. Now you should have a proper address proof. It can be your Aadhaar card, voter ID card, driving license, or any photo identity with address on it that has been approved by the Indian government. Then experience certificate. Now some of you might have worked somewhere. कुछ लोग काम करते हैं after 12th या even after graduation. If you have worked somewhere, you should have experience certificate from all those organizations, and also letters of appreciation if any. अगर आपको कभी भी letter of appreciation या किसी चीज़ में award मिला है या कुछ है, that you should be carrying along with you. Now you have to understand what you have to wear. अब हमने डॉक्यूमेंट्स रेडी कर लिए हैं, क्या आपका प्रोफेशनल अटायर होना चाहिए. सो फॉर मेन आई विल से योर प्रोफेशनल अटायर शुड बी अ नीट, क्लीन, क्रिस्प एंड आयर्नड shirt plus a formal trouser and a blazer. You can also, add a tie with it, which is like conservative and which is a classic one, not a very jazzy one. For women, you can wear either a knee-length skirt or a formal trouser, a shirt, and of course a blazer. You can always add a scarf to it, but it has to be worn properly. अब आ जाते हैं shoes पे. Both of you have to wear like formal shoes. Men have to wear formal closed shoes. Women can actually go for a ballet with 1.5 to 2 inch heel. It has to be polished. It has to be neat. Now it is very important for you to, I told you that you have to be, really well disciplined and you have to manage your time. So you should know where is exactly the interview venue located. You have to know, you will revise or you will check once again कि वहाँ reporting time क्या है. दूसरा, आपकी एरिया से इंटरव्यू वेन्यू में पहुंचने के लिए कितना टाइम लगेगा, हाउ मच टाइम विल इट टेक फॉर यू टू रीच देयर, सो दैट यू आर देयर 15 to 20 minutes before the interview and you get some time to freshen up. Say if you arrive early, you will get time to settle down. Sometimes these extra minutes will help you, fill up some forms or maybe applications which you are asked to in that interview venue. So that will give you some time to breathe and also to get prepared for the final interview. Now, cell phone has become a part of all our lives, but make sure that your cell phone is turned off and not even in the vibrator mode, because it is not nice that you are in the interview and your phone starts buzzing. That's really not professional. So keep it in the switched off mode. Now, as I told you, you have to bring extra copies of your resume and of course the list of references. The next thing to remember is that try and be courteous and respectful to whoever you meet. आप even reception पे जो personnel बैठे हुए हैं, you have to be very courteous and nice and respectfully you will be talking, because remember you are observed all the time. So don't think कि आप interview room में जाओगे और वहीं पे आपको finally perform करना है. नहीं, everything is observed even when you are sitting outside. And of course, the one thing that you have to remember is, if you're called, you have to go inside the cabin with a smile and with confidence. Now let's understand what you have to do during your interview. आपके इंटरव्यू के टाइम पे there are certain things that you need to remember. पहली चीज़, that you have to make a positive and professional first impression. So obviously, the way you look, the way you stand, the way you enter, the way you sit, actually everything. आपके बात करने से पहले आपका body language, आपका attitude, everything else talks first. So first impression has to be really impressive. Secondly, listen to the interviewer's name and correct pronunciation. Please try not to mispronounce the name, because that is really not professional, I will say. Address your interviewer either with title or saying sir or ma'am. You have to smile, of course. You have to stay calm. I know it is difficult, बहुत मुश्किल है ना, but I will say घबराहट हो भी रही है, better not to show. So even if you are like tensed, try that it does not come on your face. And maintain a good eye contact with the interviewer. The next thing that you need to remember is communication. Your communication has to be effective. So maintain the fact that you are a professional. Communicate very effectively. ज़्यादा बहुत सारे and don't use those fillers, because that is really not nice. So try to be calm and talk properly and intelligently. Be honest and be yourself. Okay. So I will say you have to exhibit a very, very positive attitude. And there might be questions. Do you know there are questions, कभी कभी वो आपसे questions भी पूछते हैं ऐसे जिसमें कि टेस्ट किया जाता है कि आप कितना positive attitude रखते हैं. So be very mindful of that and talk very, very carefully. Now I will say the next thing that you need to remember is that you have to treat the interview seriously. You possibly cannot be, laughing unnecessarily or just having a casual attitude. No. You have to take interview seriously. Next thing to remember is that make sure you understand the interviewer's next step of the hiring process. Now, कई बार ऐसे होता है कि जब आप बात कर रहे होते हैं interviewer से, interviewer in the process itself, they'll say, oh, you have to go to the next room, for the group discussion round. Or after this, you have to go to room number so and so for your screening. Now, all that you have to listen very carefully because this is the next step of your hiring process. Now, in case they ask you to sit out and you are a bit confused, you can always go to the outside desk. There the person will be able to guide you that what is going to be the next step in the hiring process. Next, as I told you, no casual attitude. So avoid cracking jokes. कई बार कुछ लोगों को लगता है कि फ़नी होना बहुत अच्छा है, it's nice to be funny. No, not on your formal interview day or before your interviewers, because that shows how serious you are about the job that you are opting for. Take a few notes during your interview. कई बार अगर वो कुछ important बता रहे हैं, it is okay to actually note down. Listen and pause before you answer. कई बार ऐसे होता है कि वो क्वेश्चन पूछने से पहले ही आप आंसर ख़त्म होने से पहले ही आंसर दे देते हैं. सो डोंट डू दैट. लिसन टू द क्वेश्चन, पॉज, think about it, and then answer. Respond to the questions and back up your statements about yourself with specific examples whenever possible. हर एक क्वेश्चन के आंसर में इंटरव्यूअर शुड बी assured that you are the right candidate for that job. So if you have to cite some examples or you have to cite some incidents that will assure them, do that. That is why rehearsal is very important. ये सब आप rehearse करके जाएंगे तो you will be able to perform better. Now ask for clarification if you have not understood any question. आपको कोई question समझ में नहीं आया but फिर भी आप answer दिए जा रहे हैं, you will get a negative scoring for that. If you have not understood anything, it is okay to ask your interviewer, could you please repeat the question because I have not understood it. And of course, the thing that you have to remember is be thorough in your responses while being concise. Now, आप short and crisp, बहुत ज़्यादा explain मत करो, कि interviewer bore ही हो जाए. Don't do that. So be short, keep it short and simple, I will say. That is why again I'm saying, think to remember, rehearse. If you're rehearsed well, you'll be able to perform better. अब ये तो हो गया things that you need to remember. What is it that you should not do? क्या क्या नहीं करना चाहिए? So the things that you should not do are, first of all, don't interrupt your interviewer. अगर आपका interviewer कोई question पूछ रहा है या बात कर रहा है या कुछ explain कर रहा है, don't interrupt them and start speaking. That's very unprofessional. Next, make sure that you're not carrying your cell phone on the hand. कई candidates ये गलती करते हैं कि वो हाथ में cell phone लेके जाते हैं अंदर. No. So as I told you before that you should keep it in the silent mode or in the switched off mode, and don't carry it in your hand. You can put it in your handbag or you can put it in your pocket. The next thing is be polite to everyone. As I told you, even the front office personnel, very important. Pay attention to your body language. Stand and sit up straight. Be moderate in using your hand gestures. बहुत ज़्यादा हाथ हिला के नहीं, but उसके लिए रोबोट की तरह भी नहीं खड़े होना है. You have to be natural. Don't lie, because sooner or later you will be caught. Don't give wrong information to the interviewer. As I told you, be honest. And the last few things that you should not do are, that you should remember are, don't be over enthusiastic. कई बार इतने एक्साइटमेंट में बच्चे बात करना शुरू कर देते हैं, बिकॉज देन you may look desperate. So don't be too over enthusiastic, be calm and poised. Ask intelligent and relevant questions. Just because you have to ask question, just पूछना है करके प्लीज़ ना पूछें. और यहाँ पे आपने जो रिसर्च किया है that will help you, क्योंकि that will help you ask intelligent questions. Do that. Avoid being touchy. There might be situations then where they might even check your emotional quotient, कि आप कितने इमोशनल हैं, कितने टची हैं, कितना जल्दी बुरा मान जाते हैं. So avoid being touchy. Don't take things personally there, because they're just testing you. They're putting you in situations and testing how you react. And I will say, don't imitate your interviewer's dialect. कई बार ऐसे होता है कि जाने अनजाने में हम जैसे इंटरव्यूअर बोल रहे हैं उसी वे में हम बोलना शुरू कर देते हैं. Now that is very unprofessional. Stick to how you speak and shake each interviewer's hand before you leave and thank each interviewer. हर एक की तरफ देखना बहुत ज़रूरी है, हर एक को थैंक करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. I hope that these do's and don'ts of the interview will help you perform very well on that final day of yours. That is what we are preparing you for, and I'm going to meet you in my next session with interview etiquettes. And of course, as usual, you will be given an assignment. You have to do that assignment. Please remember, assignment is for you. It's for your benefit. If you do it, you will be revising everything and you will never forget. You will definitely apply it on your final day. See you in my next class. Until then, I sign off here. Bye.